Yay Networks.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fitish podcast. We've been under the weather. We're still under the weather.
Even though we're under an amazing weather, not to brag.
The weather is amazing. Very good point. The weather is amazing here, but we are under the weather. But you do feel better being under the weather when the weather's nice.
Yeah. If I'm going to be under the weather, I want to be under a good weather.
Weather or weather. That's a funny word in English now that I think about it, right?
Whether you like the weather.
Whether you like the weather or not. What is weather and weather in Spanish?
Weather is clima. Y weather is
Not close.
aunque. No. No. Like,
Aunque.
yeah.
I like that word. The biggest issue I've been having lately is overconsumption. I want to talk about it. I am in overconsumption rehab, and it's a prison. It's a prison. I feel I've never been to rehab before. I've never been to rehab. I don't think I have an addictive personality, which is interesting because I feel like both of my parents have a more addictive personality. But, I smoked cigarettes on and off for many years. I guess I was addicted, but it was like easy for me to quit somewhat. I just stopped one day. I don't know. What do you think? I don't think I've been super addicted to anything, so it's hard for me to relate to like a withdrawal. But goodness, am I in major consumption withdrawal right now? I am fiending to Amazon same day some shit. I am fiending to get like long red.
That's my little violin because I cannot order it.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. You can't even order your annoying little violin. He has a tiny violin he plays when I'm complaining about things. You can't even order one. I would love to see you pull out a little violin like you just got it in the mail. But you didn't because you can't.
No, but I can make it.
Can't.
I can craft it with my hands. I'm becoming a Renaissance man.
I want long, red, fake, hooker red nails. And I can't get them. So you know what I've done? I've ordered this stuff online. I went to the nail salon in town. It wasn't very good. But I did find in the group chat that there's someone that comes to the house that's supposed to be pretty good.
Are you biting them?
So we'll see. No, that red you see is from my new lifestyle where I'm making Jell-O with my fingers.
Yeah, where that
So I have red underneath. You know why this happened? Out of necessity. Because back in the United States, I was able to be so lazy, it was glorious. I could just order all the things that I wasn't good at, like food. I'm still not good at food. I will say this, though. The caveat to the miserableness that is this overconsumption rehab that I'm currently in. And y'all are catching me at this moment. Yesterday, it really kicked in hard. It was like, I just want to order some things that are here. Like, I want to cook. I want to do this project that I'm probably going to abandon, but I want to order all this stuff. You get it. And you just can't go buy stuff here like that. And so I have been cooking a lot more. I've been cooking usually 2 meals a day. And you're great. Like, you'll cook the meat and stuff at night, but I've been at least looking up recipes, so I'll make a salad, or I made burger bowls yesterday to kind of eat at that weird Mexican lunch hour, that 2:00 that for me just basically becomes like an early dinner as well. But I made burger bowls. So, trying to be healthy, trying to work with what we have. First of all, I am not a top chef. I feel like working with what you have, like those quick fire challenges, is for people at the top of their cooking game. I have gotten thrown into a scenario where I am terrible at cooking. I don't like it. All I think about the whole time I'm cooking is how it's probably not going to taste that great. Then I'm going to have all these dishes to do. So it's going to be so distracting on your microphone, just so you know. It's like the 4th time you've
Oh, the first one was my little violin. This was to be my little cello.
Apologies for Fran and his plastic cup with a straw. Not very environmentally friendly.
The straw, it dissolves in water, and the cup dissolves in water after a while.
That cup
all
is
of it.
Plastic.
It's this enzyme made out of this enzyme plastic. It's not petroleum plastic.
That's definitely an avocado straw. Those things are weird.
Yeah.
But I was going back to like the one upside with my whole spiel is that Remy loves to be in the kitchen with me. So it's actually provided this weird moment, not weird, but weird for me, of like exceptional bonding for me and my child, because I don't like to cook, but he really wants to be in there helping me, whether I'm making, something simple or I'm just, putting hot water in oatmeal, whatever it is. He wants to stir. He wants to be in there to help. I made more peanut butter cookies last night. He's using the mixer really well. He really enjoys it. So I'm trying to look at it as, okay, this is great. He's going to grow up thinking that his mom was like a really good cook, that she was always in the kitchen making stuff, which could not be further from the truth. But no, I mean, there's obviously a silver lining, but it still is the truth that I am desperately addicted to the convenience that life in the United States affords us.
So yeah, I think like we can be addicted to things that are not tangible, like emotions. We can be addicted to services. We can be addicted, and I think that's a flow we could have.
They say that the rush of dopamine from shopping and ordering stuff online is akin to like a hitting the crack pipe.
Cheaper the crack
I
pipe.
read that. I read that somewhere. Cheaper the crack pipe.
Yeah.
Are you Yoda?
Yeah.
Cheaper the crack pipe.
I'm more zen when I'm in here. The Baja makes me zen.
So today the phone
Zen
call
Baja makes me.
I'm about to make, when I tell you, when I'm back in the States and I see these women, and y'all sending me stuff about all the stores and what they have right now, and I see these women on their social media at Target buying like pink skeletons, I could not be more repulsed. Pink's not my thing. I like the goth. I like the dark. I like the macabre. But I find myself today being like, Hola, Home Depot, tiene artículos de Halloween en stock todavía?
They would not understand.
What does that say?
No, you said it really well until you said in stock.
In stock?
Yeah.
What's in stock?
Disponibles en la tienda.
Well, again, I am
But
not
you did
fluent in
amazing
Spanish.
throughout.
They would not understand.
In stock, maybe the things that some people really don't grasp any English around.
If you said, hello, Home Depot, do you have any Halloween items blank yet? They would not understand what I said because I left off in stock.
In stock. Maybe the in stock will say like,
Oh, okay. That would really throw them.
Yeah.
Again, another thing I can't even call. I see the Home Depot. Do I want to venture an hour to the Home Depot? Do I want to make that phone call that now I've been insulted with what I've practiced to call? That's the thing you say, though. It's like you say they wouldn't understand, yet on a day-to-day, I deal with someone that says things like that you miss one word and I understand.
Yeah, but you're used to it. People in Home Depot are a little more archaic.
Cabo aren't used to people rolling in on 4th of July. Like, y'all have fireworks? Y'all have sparklers here?
Maybe. And they're like, Mi no inglés, señorita.
In Cabo, yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. I would love nothing more.
Señorita Chichis.
I am so jelly-oso that I cannot go to at Home Depot, all in one Target, all in one fell swoop, just to walk Remy around and look at Halloween stuff and buy stuff in July that I may put out in September and spend a lot of money that I don't have to spend, but I want it. I want it so bad, y'all. I'm struggling. And so you know what I do instead? I work. I cook. I am doing the dishes. I am hanging out with my child.
You're becoming a better person.
I am becoming a better person, but I miss it. I miss it so much. And so I ordered a bunch more stuff online to our mailbox because Fran has to go back to Dallas next week.
Yeah, with a carry-on.
No,
and
sir.
A backpack.
No, sir. No, sir. That's a real cough, not a fake one. It sounds fake. On that note, Overconsumption rehab is going okay. It's going okay. I'm struggling a little bit. I also think when you get sick, and I knew it was bound to hit me, it's kind of gone through the house and everyone else. When you get sick, you kind of miss the creature comforts of home. Luckily I had smuggled in some NyQuil and DayQuil. But what are we going to do
Or
when
they
that's
also
gone?
have it in the pharmacy.
I haven't seen it in the pharmacy
Yeah,
here.
they do have. Well,
Okay, present your content for the day, please.
okay,
Since everything
so
I go to discuss, you're like, no.
let's get
No. So
a update. How are you doing? Besides your,
I think that's what I just did in the last 10 minutes of the show.
but how is your, besides what you're dealing with,
Honeymoon's over. The honeymoon's over.
are you still liking living here? Should we pack and go move back?
I should be allowed to talk about my feelings and not have a tiny violin played, even if you're minimizing the things that I'm just trying to show everyone who may be curious about moving here that it's not all like when it comes to France World, you sit there like it's fucking roses all day, every day. It's Remy is an angel baby. Meanwhile, he's like, you're like, look at my perfect little angel. And I'm like, no, real talk. Life is hard. I think, do you know something that struck me as when the honeymoon phase ends, like it does with anything, y'all, like it does with, any relationship, any moment in
Our
life.
honeymoon stage hasn't ended.
This is what I mean. Like, y'all listen to this show for my honesty, or do y'all listen for your rose-colored glasses? Literally, like you literally are wearing rose-tinted glasses as we talk.
The thing is, I choose to see things as they are.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I have a child that is amazing, but he's also two. So I do understand what comes with that age. I don't say, oh, my child is a devil just because do I have something crawling in my neck?
No, I probably wouldn't tell you right now. It'd be good content.
Okay. So, neck check. Mic check. So, I do understand that he's two. I do understand that he throws tantrums when he doesn't like some.
Right. I'm just here to be the relatable one. That's all. You know what I mean? I'm just here to be the honest, relatable, real. That's why people are interested in my life because
And I'm the aspirational one.
You're aspirational.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like someone's like, oh, wow, this toddler phase is rough. And you're like, my kid's perfect. You're one of those moms that everyone can't stand. Like, everything's perfection.
No, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but he is the closest to perfection that I've seen. And I've seen a lot of beautiful things. I've seen the David in Italy. Like, I've seen things that are very close to perfect. My kid is really close to perfect, but he's two. So there are
comparing
things
our toddler to a nude statue?
to something that looks pretty much human, that it's made out of marble with a chisel and a hammer.
He has some chips. He has some flaws for sure, right?
Yeah, he's two. So he's going to have those age moments, like he's gonna be 3, and then he's gonna be 4, and he's gonna be polished more. But he's still such an amazing personality, speech.
I know, friend.
He talks.
He's not defending our child to anyone. He's amazing.
Exactly.
Who are you defending him to?
To you.
What do you mean? He is amazing.
I'm not like trying to see things in a pink.
I'm not negative. I'm just like to share our life stories on a day-to-day. Because if we sit here weekly and say to the audience, like, oh, everything's perfect, everything's great, that is so fucking lame.
No, that's why we have you. It's like bounce. We bounce it.
Right.
Bounce
because people might want to listen to something relatable that they deal with as they're, you're sitting there, in your car driving to work, or you're like, should I move? I like to keep it real because no, it's not perfect. And I will say, yes, I'm happy we moved. Obviously, I knew that I was going to hit a wall at some point, and the first few weeks I was like, wow, this is great. But when it starts to wear off, that I miss things. I miss our house. And I mean, I know there's no going back to it. We sold it. I miss our house. Do I miss the cost of living in the United States? Do I miss, how, for instance, I read this morning and frankly, it made me feel good, which is terrible what I'm about to say. But I saw on the Nextdoor app, because I'm still on there, that for the location where we lived, that there was some issue with some crazy drug addict homeless woman at the Target that I used to go to, and she, was trying to assault people in the parking lot. And that's exciting,
What about that guy that just hit someone with a board in a Chick-fil-A or something like that? Like just went like in a bar in Deep Ellum.
And this is the thing. This doesn't happen where we live. And I know everyone feels very scared of cartel violence, and we've kind of already gone down that road that, like, yeah, they're probably here for sure. I mean, they're here, obviously, but we're not in that business, and we're not, we're not messing around with any of that. And it's, it behooves everyone to keep things chill. And that's really cool, by the way, that I don't have any. That's what I tell myself in these moments of desperation of like, I want materialistic things and I'm struggling. I want fake nails.
Go buy tile to the tile store.
That I say, my child's at school right now and I have no qualms about his safety aside from like maybe he like is gonna fall and get scratched like a normal kid or break an arm or those kinds of normal fears that you would have, right? That your child's playing at school and something like that might happen. But in general, how great is it for us, right? So we have to think bigger picture, right? That we have no safety concerns really whatsoever now that we've been here for, almost 2 months now. I don't have any concerns.
So that is exactly what I see. Like you say, with my pink color. No, it's not perfect, but I can see the big picture. I think our priorities are very well aligned. Our child is in a school that he loves. Yeah. Like that was the main catalyst, in my opinion, of our move. Waiting to hear about these schools, like having to deal with all these politics. And right now we found a school that he is with people that are from Mexico, from the US, from Europe. Like he is getting a culture, a taste of culture that he wouldn't quite gotten anywhere else. Mm-hmm. He's getting to see a life with a complete different lens, and he has access to technology. He has access to many things that he could in the United States, but in a very grounding way.
Yeah, we've been a lot better with. I mean, he doesn't have an iPad or anything, but we've been a lot better even with just movies. Yeah. Like we just kind of reserve it for moments in the day here and there, turn on a movie to kind of let him unwind at night. But that's why I say bigger picture. And I think it's such a good point because y'all nowhere is perfect. Is grass greener other places? Absolutely. But I think this is what goes back to what Fran and I did for those of you that are really interested in making a move like this, wherever it may be, the slower living lifestyle. I do highly recommend it, but it still comes down to your priorities on a day-to-day in life, because I just don't think that you're going to get everything that you want. Sure. I mean, I guess if you had buckets of money, and you could pick where you wanted to live and live in different places, I guess so, for sure. You can probably achieve stuff with all the money in the world, but you still aren't going to get more time. And if your priorities are, time with your child, kind of a better life for your child, and regardless of the fact that you have to cook all your meals when you are not very domesticated, and yeah, that you just don't have a lot of those other conveniences. But those are the trade-offs. And I knew this going in. You can't prepare for it. It's like having a kid. You can't prepare for it till it comes. And you have days that are really hard. I want to be able to hop down and buy a bunch of stuff at Target to make me feel like I got a hit of the crack pipe. And unfortunately, I am not able to do that. So, Fran, you are going to be my mule, my crack mule, and bring me some things back. And it's going to just be like so exciting when you come back in town. I'm going to be like, what did I order? What did I order? It'll be like a little Christmas. It'll be really nice.
It's in the mail because I only brought up a backpack.
That's not fair. You're not going to do that to me.
Well, you'll have to pay for it, in a sexy way.
Whatever, that's fine. I'm fine. I will prostitute myself out for goods. That is absolutely fine. It's a fair trade, more than a fair trade.
How many packages do you have waiting for you?
Like today's count?
Like today's count.
13.
That accounts for a couple blowy.
We're not doing that. We have family that listens to this
Okay.
show.
Well, we'll send you your invoice.
Well, we'll see what the trade-off is after we take a quick commercial break because our relationship is on the brink, and I don't even think Fran knows why, but I'm about to tell you all together next. I'm so excited to have Babbel as a sponsor of the Fitish podcast. I have actually been utilizing Babbel for the last couple of years to help me learn Spanish. And obviously, immersion is best, but that's not realistic for anyone except for maybe me now, where I'm able to put my Babbel into, full use on a day-to-day basis. But Babbel, out of all the language apps I've ever tried, has without a doubt been my favorite for so many reasons. Their lessons are just better. Their lessons are 10 minutes long. You can carve out the time, really any day in the morning, on your lunch break, in the evening to learn and then kind of relearn stuff you learned from the day prior. I also really loved utilizing some of their classes you can join depending on like what subject you want to talk about, if it's about transportation or talking about work or just kind of the simple conversational structures of the language. And I think that's so important because that's really what you're using. And I have found that Babbel's service has especially helped me now that I've moved to Mexico because I find myself in a lot of those day-to-day situations where you're walking into the grocery store asking if they have something. And I learned all of that utilizing Babbel. Babbel also has this speech recognition technology, so when you're doing your lessons, it will not just ask you to type your answers, but it'll ask you to say them, and then they'll check your pronunciation, which is, we all know one of the hardest things about learning a new language. Of course, you can learn the words, but are you pronouncing them correctly? Babbel has over 16 million subscriptions sold, and they have 14 award-winning language courses, all backed by their 20-day money-back guarantee. So here's a special limited-time deal for all of our Fitish listeners. Right now, you can get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our Fitish listeners at babbel.com/Fitish. 60% off at babbel.com/Fitish. And that's spelled BABBEL.com/Fitish. Rules and restrictions may apply. Welcome back to the show. I apologize for sounding terrible. I'm struggling a bit. Before the break.
Should I get my boxing gloves or my
No.
pads?
No. And this doesn't have anything to do with you insulting my cookies that I continue to make for you and you continue to eat out of support. People liked that.
You're welcome.
Segment. I'm glad you eat them. Less on my hips, more on your lips.
Yeah, my hips can handle it.
I have some concerns about our relationship that were recently brought to my attention. And you don't know this until I tell you this story. We've been together almost 6 years, and you would think at that point in time, you're like locked in step. Like when I say to him, like if we were in a situation of emergency and I'm like, don't turn around, don't look, that you wouldn't, don't move. That you would look at me and you would know, don't do it. The other evening, my evening's near future was at your toe tips. You destroyed it. You're sitting on the couch with Remy. My glass of water is sitting there. They knock it over together, but it's empty, but it's glass, and it's hanging on the edge of the coffee table and the couch. And Fran has caught it with his foot. And I say, don't move. I'm on my way. I'm going to get it because there was a gap and it was going to fall. It was going to shatter everywhere. It was going to cause a lot of issue because it was late and I was tired. I had already cleaned the whole house. Don't move. Fran just doesn't listen to me. What does he do? He moves. He thinks that he can salvage the situation. What does the glass do? Shatters everywhere. I said to myself, I go, all you had to do is not move because it was like perfectly balanced. Give me 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, 4 steps for me to get there and grab it. But you moved. Why did you move?
You want to know the honest truth?
Yeah.
I wasn't looking. I didn't even know where things were,
Well, it doesn't matter. I did because I could see.
And I can feel the glass.
Right.
I see you and I hear you saying, don't move. But I can feel the cup on my toe, sleeping. I knew that it was about to sleep. I knew you, unless you were moving as fast as Flash.
No, I was gonna get there. You gotta trust. And then if I didn't get there, you could blame me for telling you to not move. But you gotta, we should be like,
I
boom,
would
boom.
not want you to blame
We
me.
should be like locked in step with one another. Like, don't look, don't move, don't turn around, get down. I feel like now, in case of real dire emergency, it's made me question everything, that I'd be like, Fran, get down. And you'd be like, huh? Be like, get down. Like, you shouldn't even question it. Like, if you told me, get down right now, I would just drop to the ground, right? Because
I don't trust you. I don't believe that like you would ask, why? What's wrong? What's happening?
No.
It's like,
Not if I
boom,
not if
shot at right across your chest.
not if I thought something was really wrong and you were like, you need to get down right now. Or you know what I mean? Like you need to don't ask questions, get down. I'd be like,
I would do it.
if I knew with the tone of voice and the look in your eye, that's what I mean. We should be like, but instead we're like,
I think we are two separate, very pensive people, individuals, and sometimes we question each other's mm, mottos.
it's not looking good, y'all, is it? It's not looking good.
Like I get it. Maybe we should start doing some trusting
This goes back to
exercises.
the therapy that we had when the therapist was like, Francisco and Jenna, y'all are living like two single people who love each other very much, but want to keep living lives like single people, and you were like, no, I don't like her. I didn't like this therapist. And I was like, I didn't like it, but she was right. We were doing things both individually, like we love each other, but then we're doing things that should be more negotiable, and that's kind of one of those things, you're like, I feel that I can take care of myself. It's like, no, you needed me. You needed me to save. And then, because then what happens? Y'all are both barefoot. I'm then now, when I was ready to finally sit down and tuck in for the night, I'm sweeping glass.
You did an amazing job. We just wanted you to be the hero of the night. I was the
Hero.
villain. You were the hero. Remy saw it. Remy got more attached to you. It's like that hero without a cape.
Are you excited to travel again?
I'm not. I'm not excited to travel again because it's just crazy when you realize that 4th of July is about to screw up all your flying um
Yeah. So
planning.
Fran had to fly last week for 4th of July.
Yeah.
And he realizes that he's like, yeah, hey, babe, I got to go out of town, like maybe Thursday, Friday. I go, well, that is like the 4th. And he's like, oh. He was like, well, maybe Monday. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that ain't about to be any better. Sunday, Monday, after people, because I believe it is one of the busiest travel weekends of
But it's
the
just
year.
crazy, especially when you live in one of the hottest touristic attractions in Mexico.
If this isn't the craziest thing for perspective, Fran, when he was looking at flights to travel, was noticing that flights, because, we live about an hour from Cabo San Lucas, so you can fly into the Cabo airport or La Paz, which is, not as common of a flight, of course. I don't think they have as many direct flights to the US, but one-way flights economy are like $2,000 over 4th of July weekend, and again, this is France planning. So this is, a few days before. But yeah, very expensive. But then if he were to fly and kind of have a layover in Mexico City and fly Mexico City to Dallas, you were looking at flights that were like very reasonable, $250,
Yeah,
$400, $300, whatever, which is crazy. So, yeah, that's just crazy. But then again, that just shows that this is where people want to travel to. We'll have to come up with a list of places for people to go on hot weekends that aren't as bopping as Cabo is.
Yeah,
I
well,
noticed that the other day. I had my first Costco hot dog, and so many of you were very passionate about this and wrote me when I posted this on social media. There's no good way to eat a hot dog on the internet. Not that anyone doubted that statement, but we go to this Costco in Mexico, and my Costco experience is minimal. I did not have a membership. I would only go with people that had one. I've been to Sam's and Costco in the States for sure, but It seemed okay. I just don't really prefer to buy things in bulk because I don't have the need. It seems like a lot of stuff when it's only a few of us. But here it's been a nice option. They do have great meat and for certain things, wine and meat and stuff like that. So we go once a week or every other week. And we went and it was so crowded, but it's always so crowded. And friends, like, you don't understand, that hot dog line is going to take a while. So he like waited in the hot dog line. I thought Remy wanted one. We said, why not? I've heard they're good. Well, I didn't realize that, yeah, it's crowded because it's like $1.50 for a soda and a hot dog it's a double dog, right? I mean,
No, it's
is that
like
a
like
foot long?
it's like yeah, it's around a foot long
That's disgusting. I ate a foot,
of butts
a butt, and
and nails.
nails.
Ugh, yeah, but it is really good.
Whatever, you eat that menudo with no bra.
Yeah, but the menudo comes like it's not processed. It's the cow stomach cleaned, put in the menudo, you eat it. Clean. What you ate is something that was born maybe 10 years ago,
Why do you
was
do this? Why are you
frozen
still doing
5
this?
years.
You eat all sorts of junk. Why do you do this?
Just like to mess with you.
Oh, but you've been doing this since, like, the person that like ruins your meal as you're eating it. I think that's probably like the third or fourth hot dog I've had in the last, like, my whole life. I just rediscovered that they're really good. So I wanted to try one. And for $1.50, it was really yummy. I liked it. It was good. I wouldn't say it was as good as some of the like baseball hot dogs I've had, you know?
The thing is that the baseball hot dogs, in my experience, are so thin. It's like
Thin.
a link the size of my finger.
Yeah, but I like that. Like, it's
Yeah,
not as much, you know? You pay 3 times as much for not as much dog.
yeah.
Well, anyway.
Cheap dog.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, Garrett. Well, I quite enjoyed it. Costco was a decent experience, but the problem is they don't have anything that I want. Back to my overconsumption, addiction and rehab that I'm currently in, is it's said that Costco carried the Ninja air fryer, the dual tray. I left my air fryer in storage. Thought that I didn't want to bring anything too bulky. Friend was like, we have limited room in the cars. We have limited room in the cars. Meanwhile, you can probably see behind us, we have like 2 bins of who knows what, 3 motorcycle helmets, no motorcycle made it in the cars. Yet my mixer, my KitchenAid giant stand mixer, and the air fryer didn't make it because there was no room.
There's still 5 helmets that stay in those. Those are essentials.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, essentials. Do they help me cook your dinner in the kitchen?
Yeah, especially when you're doing it with Remy and he's hitting you with a spatula.
So I wanted to get the air fryer, and it said they had it. Like online, it said they had it, but I
Is that one
couldn't.
of the things that I'm bringing back from the United States of America?
Just one of a few kitchen tools. Yes. No, I kept everything small enough to fit in a suitcase. I ordered an air fryer on Amazon Mexico. It's supposed to be here on the fourth. I ordered an air fryer on Amazon Mexico. It's supposed to be here later this week. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, they didn't have it. And you know how Costco is. Like, what is up? Why is there just stuff everywhere? Like, you would think they would kind of keep it to, you know, aisles that seem somewhat organized, and I just don't feel that they are. There's like Topo Chico here. Also, they have like a million things at Topo Chico, but no Topo Chico Lime, which is, that's the better one. So why are we doing the plain one? And then why is it here with some milk? And then there's some cheese here, but then the other cheese is over here. I don't get it.
It
You
is
know what I
so
mean?
weird. Like I'm 100% with you because they have like some chips in the front and
Yep.
some chips in the back. I was looking for seaweed the other day because Remy is a seaweed monster.
Yeah, he is.
And it was in the middle of the tools. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
who's organizing that?
They're like,
Us?
yeah, like it's almost like Fran. Like, did y'all hire Fran? Did Costco hire Francisco to go organize shelves? Yeah, it's what it feels like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
When
yeah.
I'm in there, I'm like, where would Fran? I walk into Costco, I'm like, okay, where would a man put the toilet paper? Oh, would it be like by the televisions? Yes, let's go there. Yeah, I think men design the Costco layout. That's how it feels to me because it's like this makes no sense whatsoever.
Now that you mention it, I can go with a different mentality and find things. Like
Yes.
what would it be in the middle of the tools? Because you get hungry. You need seaweed. You want an organic, easy, crunchy, salty,
Yeah, toilet paper
not
by the
too carby.
televisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think men organize Costco. So I'll find more examples of my theory on my next trip in a week or two, because that's how often I'm getting out these days. All right. Thanks for tuning in this week, and we'll catch you next week. I hope
Hopefully I have my little violin by next week.
Bye.